The time-traveling protagonist, now a tribal leader, is rapidly transforming the Han tribe. He's leveraged scientific knowledge to exploit a geological marvel, a lightning-activated mountain, setting in motion a shift to a market economy with private property, currency, and taxes. His ambitious Fumaguan village project exemplifies this societal overhaul. The protagonist drives multiple technological breakthroughs: oil paper windows, writing tools, brushes, ink, pencils. Inspired, he plans to illuminate Hanyang City with bioluminescent plants, creating a vibrant, energy-efficient utopia. The story is poised at a critical juncture, fueled by innovation, resource acquisition, and the looming threat of further conflict, all driven by the protagonist's audacious vision. The reader is left anticipating the consequences of these rapid advancements and the challenges the Han tribe will face. Vujin e Shaliu, the Snake Clan leader repeated, puzzled. It's nothing. Hurry up and make preparations. Get all the necessary tools, oxen, horses, carts, and able-bodied men from the Elder and the Rat Shaman. It's best to set off tomorrow. The sooner you bring back the saplings, the sooner Hanyang City can be lit up. This time, it's up to you. You instructed. Yes, chieftain. I'll go prepare right away. Having arranged the matter of the luminous plants, you found yourself with free time again. It was late June, and the construction of Hanyang City was gradually drawing to a close. Of the 4 planned teaching buildings, 3 had already been completed, and the 4th was up to the 3rd floor. The previously completed shells had also been mostly decorated, and you decided to inspect them again. Strolling to the north side of the city square, several dark green block-like buildings rose from the ground. With green bricks and blue tiles, they possessed a certain ancient charm. However, you knew that their interior decoration style was completely based on modern teaching buildings. Approaching the first completed teaching building, the main entrance was on the sides of the building, with a staircase on each side. This was also designed for the convenience of a large number of students going up and down the stairs, stepping onto the solid green brick steps and walking up the solid wood double. Doors were open. As soon as you entered the corridor, you could smell the scent of paint. However, it wasn't unpleasant, as it was made from all natural plant-based paints. The floor of the corridor was paved with 40-centimeter long and wide, 1-centimeter thick ceramic floor tiles. The glaze on the tiles was a light yellow, reflecting the light of the glass. This color of tile was elegant and grand and also very dirt-resistant. It also looked very bright, since lighting equipment was basically non-existent, so lighting had to be taken into account. The smell of paint mainly came from the walls. The original color of the green bricks was already dark. Without wall treatment, the entire building would feel like a prison, so this aspect was also specially handled. The rough brick walls were first plastered with a layer of clay, covering the bricks and gaps. Then, a layer of white slaked lime was applied to the outside, and after being smoothed, green paint was used to paint a wainscot on the lower part of the wall, making it look more like a modern teaching building. In addition to this, even the wooden floorboards above were painted white, making the long and narrow corridor look quite bright. Entering the classroom, it was basically the same decoration as the corridor. Ceramic tile floor, white walls, green wainscot. 3 large windows were also opened on the outer wall. The windows were temporarily in the retro wooden lattice style, with a simple layer of animal skin pasted on the outside to block rain. However, they were opened on sunny days. There wasn't enough paper for now, so it would be changed later when there was more paper. On the inner wall facing the corridor, there was also a row of bay windows, also for ventilation, and to provide light for the corridor. The only difference from the outside was that a huge wooden blackboard was installed on the front and back walls of the classroom. There's no need to elaborate on the blackboard, a teaching artifact. It was even better than the one-to-many private schools of ancient times. One teacher could teach dozens of people, and the use of blackboards and chalk allowed students to visually see the key points of the teacher's lecture, which was very important for popularizing education. The pre-planned wooden lecture desks and student desks had not yet arrived. Only 2 classrooms in this building were fully equipped with desks and chairs, while the others were being urgently produced. In addition, things like windows and doors were also the responsibility of the carpentry team. Their workload was quite heavy. Fortunately, there was a windmill-powered sawmill, otherwise it was really unknown when the teaching building could be put into use. After inspecting the classrooms, on the first floor, you walked up the solid wood stairs to the second floor. The ground was still paved with ceramic tiles, but a layer of clay was applied to the wooden floorboards before the tiles were laid. This construction method could also maximize fire and water resistance and improve the service life of the wooden floorboards. The second and third floors were currently empty rooms, decorated exactly the same as the one below, just waiting for the window paper to be pasted and filled with desks and chairs before they could be put into use. The decoration progress of the second teaching building was also very fast. The foundation of the walls had been completed, and the final painting work was underway. Blackboards had not yet been installed in the classrooms. There were only a few wooden windows, empty and very bright. Building number 3 had just been capped less than a month ago, and floor tiles were being laid. The foundation of the walls on the first floor had been completed, and the 2 floors above should still take some time. Finally, you checked the construction progress of building number 4. Due to the large number of people, the work was very fast. The floorboards of the second floor had already been laid, and it was estimated that the capping would be at the beginning of July at the latest, and then the decoration stage could begin. However, this was not the last construction project. The previously planned one also included your own single-family villa, but now you no longer plan to live here. Hanyang City was the first city you planned, and it could be said that you put the most effort into it. However, the surrounding geographical location limited its development. This city could only be this big at most. It was impossible for you to live in Hanyang City all the time. First of all, your identity was not suitable. Would you still live here after becoming emperor? In addition, it was not conducive to office work. The emperor ruled so many cities, and this small place simply couldn't accommodate so many officials. At the very least, there would definitely be many people around you. Therefore, in summary, you prepared to abandon the luxury house plan and use the last vacant lot in Hanyang City to build a comprehensive government office building, similar to a county government office. Considering the limitations of this era, a county town did not need to create complicated units. So just like in ancient times, create a Yamen and have the county magistrate manage all the affairs of the county. Then arrange some minor officials to assist, and that's it. Otherwise, the country could not afford so many officials. Like now, with a total population of more than 1 billion, there are 80 million civil servants. It is a miracle that they haven't sucked the common people dry. How much tax must be paid to pay their salaries? Of course, it doesn't mean that there is only one official. Even if the official is amazing, they can't manage everything. So, it is still necessary to set up some sub-departments, but there is no need to set up a separate Yamen. Just put them all in this comprehensive office building, which can be divided according to offices. For example, the office in charge of household registration, the office in charge of agriculture, the military office in charge of city defense and public security, the office in charge of animal husbandry, the office in charge of construction, and so on. One room is enough for each department. Then add a reception hall to handle civil affairs, a conference room, a file library, that is, an archive room, and an office for the prefect on the top floor, and other office spaces for deputies such. A fully functional government agency is almost complete. In addition to the main officials, the clerks of the departments generally serve as minor officials. These positions are similar to contract workers and are not part of the formal official establishment. However, if they do well and have the ability, they also have the opportunity to become regular officials or even be promoted to become senior officials. You still care about this Yamen building. After all, it is the face of a county, or the face of the empire, your face. Although saving and simplicity are traditional virtues, if this government unit is too shabby, it is easy to lose credibility among the people. Your government unit is so poor, what future is there to follow you? In order not to let the people have this idea, you decided to design a unique building, and it also needs to accommodate so many functions. It is still a bit difficult for you, a half-baked architect who demolished buildings in your previous life. If you were to say, what kind of building would appear majestic and could be built in this era, then your first choice would definitely be traditional Chinese wooden structures, like the eaves of a palace. As for other things, stone castles are definitely not acceptable. It's not that they are not strong and majestic enough, but they are too laborious to build. They are far less quick and convenient than wooden structures. If traditional mortise and tenon joints are used, even a single nail is not needed. It is possible to build high-rise buildings just like building blocks. Therefore, in summary, you quickly determined the shape of the target building and directly built a convex-shaped wooden structure podium building. The meaning of the podium building is also easy to understand. It looks like wearing a skirt. That is, it gradually shrinks from bottom to top, forming layers of upturned eaves like a multi-layered cake. The plane shape of the building is an inverted convex shape, mainly composed of a rectangular office building at the back and a smaller reception hall at the front. The hall is the protruding part. A stone elephant is placed on the left and right sides of the entrance of the hall, which looks a little more majestic. Because no lions have been found for the time being, you think it is better to put 2 elephants that the clan members are familiar with. In addition, you plan to place a bronze ding in front of the gate. The ding body is a regular octagon, with 4 legs and 2 ears. Then put the 8 paintings about your prophecy on it, so that everyone can see them, which will help to improve your prestige and play a promotional role for those newcomers. Finally, build a tower on each side of the protruding hall. The area doesn't need to be too large. It can be built according to a simple 4-cornered tower. The height is the same as the building behind, and 2 sky bridges are erected at the middle height to connect with the building behind. This also looks more distinctive. The 2 towers were a bell tower and a drum tower, respectively. Their uses were literal. They were specifically for telling time. In the morning, the bell would be struck at a set time for everyone to get up, and in the evening the drum would be struck for curfew. To save materials, you didn't plan to make a large temple-style bell. A diameter of 1 meter would suffice, saving as much as possible. You still plan to use the remaining bronze to mint coins. In this way, the entire Yamen would consist of an office building, a civil reception hall, 2 towers, 2 elephant sculptures, and an octagonal bronze ding. Further, ahead were the flag platform and the square. Then on the 2 sides towards the front were the 4 teaching buildings, collectively forming the political and cultural center of Hanyang County. Indeed, the government and schools were always adjacent. Truly a political and cultural center, Vitai. Of course, at present it might be a bit small as a county-level administrative unit, but it couldn't be made too large with the current scale. Expansion was not impossible. When the population increased in the future, the current Hanyang City could be directly turned into the inner city and then expanded outwards. Chenggu. If there is a Cheng city, of course there is a Guo outer city. As the saying goes, a city of 3 li has an outer city of 7 li. The reason why there is no outer city is simply because of the small population. After making Hanyang City a county-level administrative unit, you plan to delineate county-level administrative units in the surrounding area within a few years. To the north, the target of 4,000 people at Fuma Pass is the first county. Then there is the flat land, south of Tuogu Ridge, which was the battlefield where the Huo tribe was ambushed. It is close to the forest, so there is no shortage of wood and fuel for construction. There is also a large area of flat land around it that can be used for farming. Although the water source is a bit far away, the Han tribe has crops such as wheat, corn, and soybeans that can be grown in dry land. They can completely avoid relying so much on rivers. They can just dig wells for daily water consumption. Of course, it is not impossible to divert water. If the artificial river is not dug too large, It is about a 2-day walk from the lower reaches of the small river to Tuogu Ridge. Digging a canal is not a difficult task. If all else fails, there is still dynamite. And there are benefits to setting up a county town under Tuogu Ridge. This way, the salt mine can be sandwiched between Hanyang City and Tuogu Ridge, bringing it into the territory of the empire. Whether it is mining or control, it is beneficial. To the Han tribe, after the completion of Tuogu Ridge and Fuma Pass, development can continue to the southwest. Find a place near the water source around the former Bian tribe, and Shi tribe settlements to establish a county town. This way, the thousands of mu of hemp fields and a large number of wild medicinal materials can be brought under the jurisdiction of Hanyang County. In this way, the entire Hanyang County will have at least 4 county towns under its jurisdiction: Fuma Pass, Tuogu Ridge, the former Shi tribe settlement, and the current Hanyang City. The entire county is bounded by the river, and most of the land on the west bank will be brought under the jurisdiction of Hanyang County. In addition, a separate county can be established on the east bank of the small river. First of all, a town can be established in the original settlement of the Li tribe. The 2 major resources of tung oil and chestnuts are worth developing. Establishing a county town can also occupy this resource point. Moreover, it is close to the river, so there is no problem with farming, and water transportation is also very convenient. It is a good place for survival. Furthermore, to the east of Hanyang City, the location between the former He Shu tribe and the Han tribe can also be established as a county town, mainly focusing on agriculture and timber. This place is also very good. To the north, it is backed by the dark forest. The black iron trees there are a resource in themselves. After several years of exploration, you have discovered many characteristics of black iron wood, such as its strong and corrosion-resistant wood, and it is also very resistant to burning. The combustion efficiency of charcoal made from it is higher than that of other wood. Therefore, guarding this forest, whether it is used to make furniture, building materials, wooden floors, or charcoal for sale, is a good income. Moreover, this place is south of the former Li tribe and west of the small river, only a river away from Hanyang City. It happens to be in the middle of Hanyang County and the current new city. It can be said to be an important transportation line. There will never be few transport teams between the 2 places. Just developing the service industry is a big income, and there is no need to worry about not being able to develop. Of course, not that kind of special service, but supply and rest places such as restaurants, inns, and taverns. You can also run a carriage business, a blacksmith shop, change horseshoes, rent vehicles, etc. As long as you have a brain, you don't have to worry about not making money. 1 or 2 days to the northeast is the location of Baobao Mountain. A county town can also be set up there, mainly responsible for the development of copper mines and their associated minerals, bringing this important mineral resource into the territory of the Han tribe. In this way, there are 3 county towns, which may be a bit small for a county. You think carefully. You can push it further north, go up the small river all the way north, and build another county town near the river on the north side of the dark forest. In this way, there will be fuel, land, water sources, and building materials. In the early stage, it can be mainly based on agriculture and breeding. The specific direction of development will depend on subsequent exploration to see if there are any special resources that can be utilized. 4 county towns form a county, which may be small at present, but there is no other way because of the sparse population. If you want to expand the territory, you can only wait for more people to occupy it. This era is still very dangerous. Ferocious beasts, foreign savages, who knows if they are good or bad. Therefore, we cannot blindly expand. All occupied land must be valuable, and in the early stage, it is necessary to build a city. Even if there are no brick and stone walls, at least it must be rammed earth. However, considering the current population growth, you can't help but worry. The population growth in the new city area is very stable. It attracts people with fixed markets and then uses the method of recruiting laborers to win over those people to join. Now, this strategy has seen results. Small tribes in both the north and south are gradually joining, and even the Ling tribe in the swamp has established a relationship with the new city. You have also sent people to infiltrate the interior. If the chief of the Chai clan can complete the task you assign to him and teach the Ling tribe the technology of planting and breeding, then the Han tribe will definitely gain great prestige in their hearts, and conquering them will be just around the corner. In the current form, the new city is still in the early stage of construction, and the population growth is stable, but the Hanyang City side makes you worry, because the population of the surrounding tribes has been completely absorbed by it. If you want to gain more population, it will undoubtedly be more difficult. Where to find people, this is a question. If you really rely on the current group of people to reproduce, then you don't have to do anything else. Even if they can have one child a year, it will take more than 10 years for the child to grow up. How many decades do you have to waste with them? The sun outside the window gradually sloped westward. You sat in the room and tapped the table with a pencil, constantly thinking about the next plan, where to find people. Most of the population west of Hanyang has been brought under its command. Although it is not ruled out that some smaller tribes may still exist, the total number will certainly not be too many. Even if a team is sent to search, not many people can be gathered. Within half a month's journey to the west, it would be good to gather 5,000 people, at most one county town. There should be a lot of people in the south and north directions. For 3 years you have been wandering around the east-west latitude, but you haven't explored the two ends of the longitude. Much. And the direction of the longitude is also the direction of the river. Perhaps you can explore by waterway? Well, this should be feasible. The more you think about it, the more correct it feels. Human survival definitely needs water sources, so they naturally won't be too far from the river. Therefore, as long as you take a boat and search along the banks, you will definitely be able to find those tribes that you have never met before. These are all populations. After thinking carefully, you quickly determined this plan. This is the fastest way to increase the population at present, and the investment is relatively small. Only a few small boats are needed to do it. It is definitely a cost-effective business. Well, let's start doing it next spring. You can't help but think. In the next few days, you didn't go out much. You just stayed in the room and kept drawing various design drawings until you drew the drawings of the hurricane lamp and the office building. However, after thinking about it, he still stuffed the drawings of the hurricane lamp back into the drawer. There was no time to mass-produce glass this year, so it was better to use oil lamps and candles for the time being. Holding the completed drawings, you found Mutong, that guy, at the wood processing plant. Come, look at this, the last building in Hanyang City. After this is done, there will be no other work, you said, and directly placed a stack of drawings in Mutong's hand. Wow. Is this the drawing drawn with a pencil and white paper? It's really detailed. Mutong took the drawings and immediately exclaimed. But after he finished reading the drawings, he couldn't help but frown. It wasn't because he couldn't understand them. The drawings you drew were very detailed, from the overall renderings to the floor plans, cross-sectional views, and the required parts, and the size of each pillar and beam. Its detailed degree can be described as complicated, but Mutong understood it all. As a professional carpenter, after seeing these blueprints, Mutong's mind would immediately conjure up a corresponding three-dimensional image, almost like modeling. This was an occupational habit, and it was precisely for this reason that he became increasingly astonished. He was stunned by the complex structures and the final grand, spectacular renderings. Did the chief create all of this? Chief, this building you've drawn has 5 stories and it's all made of wood. Can it actually be built? Won't it collapse? Mutong asked doubtfully. Of course it can be built. Why would it collapse? As long as you strictly follow the dimensions and methods on the blueprints, I guarantee it can be built, you replied confidently. Really? But our brick and concrete school only has 3 stories. Won't something that tall collapse? Mutong still said disbelievingly. Yes, you said it yourself. That's a brick and concrete structure, so its structural weight is much greater than a pure wood structure. That's also why I chose a wooden structure. For this type of pure wood structure, 5 stories is far from the limit. Furthermore, I decided to use a wooden structure, firstly because we have plenty of wood, and it doesn't need to be fired, and secondly because with this wind-powered machine, you can process it much faster. And I don't want to drag this building out too long. This building must be completed by winter at the latest, is that clear? You explained to Mutong. After arranging for Mutong to start preparing the wooden building components, you once again took a foundation blueprint and found the current head of the Jue clan, who was in charge of construction. You then told him to immediately start surveying the site, digging trenches, and laying the foundation, especially the locations of the pillars. It's important to know that the entire wooden structure relies on those pillars for support. After completing these tasks, you prepared yourself and went to the new city district on the East Bank again to check on the construction progress and to expand the scale of papermaking. The paper output was simply too low. Just to replace all the windows of the Han tribe with paper would be no small feat, not to mention that you also plan to use it for printing books and practicing writing. Upon arriving at the new city district, there were already 2 earthen cities. The 2 city walls were arranged north-south and close to the big river, less than 100 meters apart. Blocking both ends with cheval de frise could temporarily connect the 2 cities. Of the 16 blocks in the earliest built city, 12 had already been completed. Only the 4 central blocks were temporarily vacant. These were what you planned to use as a plaza for drying grain. However, this meant that the residential area, originally capable of accommodating 700 households, was insufficient. Therefore, the extra people had to continue moving to the new city to build residences. Currently, those who had already joined the Han tribe were still crowded in the original city district, while the laborers temporarily residing here continued to live in thatched huts. As soon as you arrived, Dashu, who was acting as the temporary guard, immediately came to greet you. Behind him was the head of the Chai clan, who had returned from the Ling tribe, which surprised you a bit. You're back so soon? Did you complete the task of guiding the Ling tribe in planting rice? Were they obedient? Did they give you any trouble? You asked, looking at the head of the Chai clan. Chief, we've completed it. All the members of the delegation have returned and no one had any accidents. Hey, the people of the Ling tribe were very kind to us, especially after we guided them and they successfully saw the rice seedlings emerge. They practically treated our Han tribe like gods, especially you, Chief. Their people often spoke highly of you. The Chai clan leader said with a smile. Oh? Really? It seems things went quite smoothly. Come, let's find a room and you can tell me the details. You also nodded happily. Yes, Chief. Let's go to the courtyard where the papermaking is done. I've prepared a basin of xiaobing for you so you can cool off. Dashu immediately chimed in. Hey. It seems you haven't been using it sparingly yourself. You pointed at Dashu, and the group quickly walked to the courtyard of the papermaking workshop. The oil-papered windows were closed, and a large basin of ice was placed in the room, lowering the temperature considerably. You sat on the mat-covered kang while Dashu and the Chai clan leader sat at the table in the middle of the room. Chief, it's like this. The Ling tribe settlement isn't far from here. It took us at most half a day to get there by boat. Their settlement is surrounded by water on all sides. The dry land is about the size of the flat land near our Hanyang City. It's covered with green bamboo, tall and large, and very sturdy. It was the first time I'd ever seen such amazing plants. The Chai clan leader paused, then continued. On the day we arrived, I observed the entire settlement with their chief. I found that the north and east sides of their land were very suitable for growing rice. They were practically naturally formed paddy fields, constantly covered with a palm-thick layer of water. But I know that being covered with water all the time isn't good. So I had them build a circle of mud on the side facing the water, making a dam. This way, when they need to water the fields, they just need to open a gap and then close it again. Later, I marked out about 300 mu of land for them, and then we started sowing seeds and transplanting rice seedlings. It's summer now, and the rice is growing like crazy. The seeds sprouted 2 days after sowing, and after that it was like a different scene every day. They were overjoyed, and they all said that you, Chief, are a god for knowing this way of growing grain. The Chai clan leader said vividly, gesturing as he spoke. It's good that the food issue is resolved. What about the other things I assigned you? Have you observed carefully these days? Besides bamboo, are there any other specialties there, things that we don't have here? You followed up. There actually are. Besides the bamboo on the land, they also have water caltrops in the water. In addition, on the west and south sides of their settlement, there's an abundance of a plant with several round leaves the size of pot lids, and large red and white flowers growing beside them. The people of the Ling tribe like to cook rice in bamboo tubes, then pour the cooked rice onto the large round leaves, and eat it with other things by hand. But that's not the most important thing. The important thing is that under those large leaves, which is their roots, they all grow in the mud. The Ling tribe people are very good at digging up those yellowish-white roots. They call that stuff shuiju, which means bamboo growing in the water, and it's something you can eat. Those shuiju aren't very long, nor are they sturdy. Like the bamboo on the ground, they grow in sections, and the insides are pinkish-white and hollow, with many small holes. More importantly, when you break that thing, many tiny threads will appear. At first, I thought I was seeing things, and even mistook it for a plant like hemp, thinking that I could use those particularly fine threads for weaving. But that thing isn't sturdy, and it breaks with a gentle pull, so it's not suitable for weaving at all. The Chai clan leader excitedly recounted his observations from the past month. You couldn't help but listen with your mouth agape. On the surface of the water grow round, large leaves and huge red and white flowers, and below, in the mud, are buried jointed rhizomes which are hollow inside, with many small holes, and when broken they have fine threads connecting them. Isn't this lianao, lotus root? You did not expect the Ling tribe to have such good things around them. That thing isn't shuiju, it's called lian. The ones above are lianye, lotus leaves, and lianhua, lotus flowers. Of course, you can also call them hai, lotus leaves, and hehua, lotus flowers. The ones growing in the mud are lianu, lotus roots. Regularly eating lianu is good for your health. I wonder if you brought any back with you this time. You, with a craving, explained this while asking if he had brought back any lotus roots. I did. I'm keeping them in the water jar in the courtyard. If the chief wants to eat some, I'll have someone prepare it later. So that thing is called lianu. It's quite a nice name, but there's one drawback. It seems it can't be without water or it will dry out quickly. In this respect, it's far inferior to water caltrops. The Chai clan leader immediately replied, Then make a dish. No, you don't know how to make it. How about this? Bring a piece later, along with some green vegetables, string beans, and peanuts. I'll make it myself this afternoon. You suppressed your drool and rattled off a string of ingredients for making a vegetarian stir-fry. The presence of lotus roots at the Ling tribe was a huge surprise. Wouldn't it be great to have another food source? And such a nutritious one at that. Although it's not convenient to store, it can be processed into lotus root powder. And with the future soybean harvest, wouldn't it be wonderful to alternate between soy milk and lotus root powder every morning? You carefully wrote this down, intending to discuss the lotus root trade later, and asked the Chai clan leader to continue his report. After we finished sowing the seeds, in the half-month or so before transplanting the seedlings, we also researched the matter of raising water birds that the chief mentioned. It should still be achievable, but it's not something that can be done in 1 or 2 months. I've already told them the method, but how it turns out depends on them. I followed the chief's method and had them use bamboo to make fences and insert them into the water where the lotus roots grow on the west and south sides of the settlement, to enclose an area for raising water birds. They also sent men out to use hemp nets to catch live water birds, and the bird eggs hidden in the grass, all to be taken back. but they started with too few nets and they caught very little. Moreover, the fence wasn't finished. By the time we returned, they had only caught a little over 20. Later, after the rice seedlings had grown, we taught them how to transplant the seedlings and manage them afterwards, and then we came straight back. This time, we also brought back some bamboo weavings from the Ling tribe, all baskets and conical hats and sleeping mats, among other things. There were the most sleeping mats. Most were unprocessed bamboo, used to offset the supplies we provided. Several machetes, hemp nets, farm tools, and the grain seeds we gave them. That's about it for now. However, Chief, aren't we at a disadvantage like this? Exchanging so many of our things for just that bamboo, it doesn't feel worth it. The Chai clan leader said hesitantly, You did well. As for whether we're at a disadvantage, of course, we can't just focus on the immediate gains and losses. We need to take a long-term view. Take that bamboo, for example. We definitely need it. But can we spare the manpower to do this now? Send people to defeat them and occupy that settlement. That's the worst option. When we can clearly use their own people to work for us, why should we bother doing it ourselves? Look at how many houses we need to build. Immediately after the houses are built, it will be the autumn harvest, and we also need to prepare a large amount of winter supplies. Where do we have the time to do this? These are all the immediate benefits. Taking the long view in the future, when they raise ducks, we can obtain a steady stream of meat, duck eggs, and feathers, these important materials. And there will also be a greater variety of bamboo products, all of which we need. Besides, what are those few tools and seeds worth in our Han tribe? It's not like we can't make as many as we want. You analyzed for the two of them. Yes, Chief, I understand. The two replied in unison. Clan leader Chai, since you've already established a good relationship with the Ling tribe and they're familiar with you, you'll be temporarily responsible for the future trade with the Ling tribe. Mainly, use their bamboo products and lianu, lotus root, to exchange for our tools and bayan, refined salt. For the specific prices, just refer to the previous market prices. Also, pay attention to having them make more sleeping mats. I want every fire kang in the Han tribe to be covered with a bamboo mat before this winter. You tapped on the low table. On the kang as you spoke. Yes, Chief, I understand. I guarantee I'll complete the task. The Chai clan leader stood up and replied, There's nothing else. You can go get the lotus root. Not too much is needed. Yes. After the Chai clan leader left, Dashu also relaxed, fished out an ice cube from the ice basin beside you to eat, and began to complain to you. Chief, things here are too difficult to manage. There are more and more people, and some of the small tribes that have joined our tribe are still acting independently. A few days ago, 2 small tribes even fought over the allocation of houses. In the end, Shuda had to send warriors to separate them. I went to mediate, but they wouldn't listen, saying I wasn't qualified. I'm not the chief, and before joining the Han tribe, I only had 30 people, so I have no right to manage them. They wanted to find the chief to mediate. In the end, Shuda couldn't stand it and had the warriors beat up a few of the ringleaders, and they finally calmed down. But I think they may still be resentful. It'll be trouble sooner or later if they keep holding it in. Now that you're here, Chief, it's perfect. Your prestige is greater. They joined the Han tribe for you, Chief. Only you can manage them. Especially those former chiefs. You frowned. You weren't surprised that something like this had happened. The Han tribe was absorbing people too quickly. With the influx of so many outsiders, it was normal for some conflicts to arise between them. It would be strange if they were all as docile as quails. As the saying goes, when the forest is big, there are all kinds of birds. How could everyone be so obedient? But what he didn't expect was that things would happen so quickly. He originally thought that, at the very least, these trivial matters wouldn't happen until the new city was completed, and everyone had a house to live in, and food to eat. Then he would promote the development of institutional management. But he didn't expect that just a few houses had been built, and these people were already fighting over houses. It's only been a short period of stable life, and they're already causing trouble. What was the specific reason? Which tribes were involved in the fight, and who are those you said were disrespectful to you? You frowned and asked. When Dashu heard that you were taking this issue seriously, he quickly crunched the ice cubes, sat up straight, and reported the situation to you. The cause was this. A few days ago, after the last block of the new city, district was completed. A tribesman from the Xiong, Bear tribe, and a tribesman from the Jingji, Thorn tribe, fought over a house near the entrance of the alley. The reason for the dispute was to be closer to the well at the entrance of the alley. Later, the two fought to a draw, and neither won. Great, they simply called on their former tribesmen to fight together. Then, neither side would give in, and in the end, it turned into a group fight. But fortunately, they were also afraid of making things too big, so they didn't dare to use weapons when they fought. So in the end, it wasn't too serious. No one died, and there were no serious injuries, just a group of people with bruised and swollen faces. When I stepped in to mediate, the clan leaders of both clans were also there. The two were just short of rolling up their sleeves and fighting themselves. When I spoke, they both scolded me for not being qualified to manage them, making it seem like they were on the same side, and I had become their enemy. In the end, Shuda couldn't take it anymore, and had the soldiers beat them up. You were not familiar with the Xiong tribe and the Jingji tribe, especially the Xiong tribe. Apart from knowing that they were good at hunting and used the bear as their totem, you basically had no impression of them. As for the Jingji tribe, as their name suggests, they were good at using thorny vines, making traps, weaving vine baskets, and using thorny vines to weave fences for defense. The two tribes were equally matched in strength, so after joining the Han tribe, they didn't take each other seriously. But that wasn't the point. The initial fight between the two people over the house was nothing, just a small matter. But later, calling on their former tribesmen to fight in groups, that's a different matter. It shows that they haven't integrated into the Han tribe. This is a big problem. The current Han tribe, in appearance, is actually no different from the tribal alliance encountered in the north. The difference is that the Han tribe has a chief recognized by all, and that is you. But the similarity with the alliance is that, after joining the Han tribe, these tribes did not completely regard themselves as part of the Han tribe. They bind their hair, they learn Chinese, they call themselves Han people, but they still cling tightly together in the form of clans. To put it bluntly, they are still closer to those from their original tribes. It's a good thing to know how to unite, but this kind of small-scale unity is equivalent to internal conflict on a macro level. This is equivalent to internal strife within the Han tribe. But after careful analysis, we can see that the key point of this problem is not the fight over houses, but the excessive influence of the clans in the Han tribe. This situation is a dangerous signal, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. As the saying goes, early detection and early treatment. Since the problem has been discovered, it's good to correct the mistake in time. To deal with this problem of clans forming their own factions, with people of the same surname banding together, and those of different surnames excluding each other, the best solution, and the simplest solution, is to divide them. And to do this without making them resist, you have plenty of ways to deal with them, such as the census he has been planning for a long time. Register all the tribesmen, trace their origins, and investigate their ancestors for 8 generations. He doesn't believe they are still one family. Before the Han tribe absorbed them, blood exchange activities like Chunhui had already been carried out many times. All the tribes had people from other tribes. As long as these relationships are sorted out, they can be directly divided. However, division does not mean breaking away from the concept of unity. Instead, it means breaking down the clans into individuals and integrating them into the Han tribe as individuals. In the future, when we talk about unity, it will be unity in the concept of the nation. Of course, if you want to separate them smoothly without making them resist, you must give a reasonable reason, and it must be acceptable to everyone. This is also very simple, that is to operate under the pretext of clarifying blood relationships. The Han tribe will not hold activities like Chunhui, and the Han tribe is originally composed of many tribes. In the future, if you want to solve the problem of marriage, you must follow the blood relationship. Blood relatives cannot be combined. They have long understood this principle, otherwise they would not have run so far to participate in Chunhui. It is believed that with this reason, the chiefs and elders of those tribes will not disagree. Having made up your mind, you said to Dashu, "I'll handle this matter. You inform everyone that by my order, before dinner, call all the clan leaders, and the 2 clansmen involved to the square. I'll mediate for them, and at the same time have a meeting with the clan leaders to discuss some other matters. You'll need to prepare some things for me, such as..." You assigned detailed preparatory work to Dashu, and Dashu kept nodding. After a while, Dashu also left excitedly, while you took out the brush and ink you brought this time and started writing in the room. In order to complete this population census plan, the first thing you thought of was a nursery rhyme, or children's song, familiar to all Chinese people. This is absolutely not an exaggeration. Even in modern times, you can often hear it no matter where you go. Dad's dad is called grandpa. Dad's mom is called grandma. Mom's dad is called maternal grandpa. Mom's mom is called maternal grandma. Uncle, older paternal uncle, paternal aunt, paternal uncle's wife, maternal aunt, maternal uncle, and so on. You don't know who created this brainwashing nursery rhyme, but he grew up listening to it. As a nursery rhyme specially designed to popularize human kinship and seniority to children, this is definitely one of the most successful. Of course, it's equally suitable to use it in the Han tribe now, whether it's adults or children. It's suitable for learning. You quickly wrote out this nursery rhyme on a piece of white paper. But you made some slight modifications compared to the original, changing all the appellations to formal written language, such as Fukin, father, Mukin, mother, Zufu, grandfather, Zumu, grandmother, Shufu, uncle, Bofu, older, paternal uncle, etc. But later you thought about it, and this kind of sing-along wouldn't be so popular, so you wrote another colloquial version, directly turning it into the spoken language of father, mother, paternal grandfather, paternal grandmother, maternal grandfather, maternal grandmother, paternal uncles, and maternal uncles. In addition to these 2 versions of the nursery rhyme, you also drew a blood relationship chart, starting from the paternal grandparents and maternal grandparents, moving down the generations in order, and then the father, mother, and those uncles and aunts. The generational relationships in the nursery rhyme were all clearly represented by this chart, with the corresponding titles marked next to them, so that they could look it up themselves on this chart when they were confused. After writing all this, looking at the wet ink on the paper, you couldn't help but feel a little proud of your cleverness. Just imagine, when all the children in the future are singing this nursery rhyme in groups, will anyone in the entire Han tribe still be confused about their generational relationships? And once they clarify their generational relationships, what clan leaders are just a joke. Besides those direct blood relatives, the people they are closest to are probably their neighbors. As the saying goes, a close neighbor is better than a distant relative. Those distant relatives are of no use at all. When real difficulties arise, they still have to rely on their neighbors nearby. And in this way, your planned great unity of the Han tribe's people can be realized, truly dismantling the morbid small unity of clannishness from the root, enabling the state to develop more stably and eliminating the possibility of internal divisions. After the ink dried, Yu Gi quickly ordered people to paste these 3 pieces of paper on wooden boards and then sent them to the square in the city. Then you picked up your sword and slowly strolled to the square to deal with those 2 idiots fighting over a house. After inspecting the construction of the city area along the way, you soon arrived at a pergola in the city square. At this time, the people you had summoned had not yet arrived. Most of them still had construction work to do. but it could not be ruled out that some of them were deliberately delaying because they were afraid of being punished. However, you had already instructed Dashu about this. If they hadn't arrived here by mealtime at the latest, the soldiers would directly tie them up and bring them over. Before long, the first to arrive was actually the clan leader of the Chai clan. He was followed by several women who were carrying the ingredients you had requested earlier. You thought for a moment, perfect. Might as well cook a meal here and wait until evening to eat with the clan leaders, talking while eating. Under your direction, the women processed the ingredients in an orderly manner. Some cooked rice, some chopped vegetables, and you sat on the side, giving instructions from time to time while also answering some of the Chai clan leaders' questions. Chief, what is this that you wrote? Oh, this is Hanzi. It's about the blood relationships between clan members. It's also the reason why I called you all here today. I want to talk to you about the future spouses of the clan members. After all, we are not like before. The spring meeting has no meaning for the Han tribe. The Han tribe was originally formed by the fusion of many tribes. So as long as we follow the method I have in mind, the spouse problem of the Han tribe can be solved internally, and there is no need to go outside to find women from other tribes, you explained to the Chai clan leader. Oh, I see. This past while, we've been either building houses or going to the Ling tribe to teach them how to farm. I really haven't thought about this issue, but before I agreed to join the Han tribe, I did think about it, the Chai clan leader replied. Oh, what did you think at that time? Tell me, let's see if it works, you asked with interest. Yes, Chief. At that time, I thought that there was more than one tribe joining the Han tribe. After those tribes become clans, they can also hold an activity similar to the spring meeting in the Han tribe. The clan members can distinguish and choose their spouses in the form of clans, the Chai clan leader answered. Well, the method you mentioned is no different from the previous spring meeting. It's just a change of name, replacing the tribe with the clan, and the spring meeting with another meeting. There is no essential difference. You shook your head and said, but we used to do it this way. Is there anything wrong with that? The Chai clan leader asked in confusion. That's why I called you here. You don't understand what blood relationships are. Those children born in the tribes who are disabled, or couples who can't have children, or those who are born with low intelligence, or children who are prone to illness and don't live long, often die young. These problems may all be caused by blood relationships. That's why I want you to understand blood relationships and follow its rules, instead of just choosing people without understanding anything, instead of randomly picking without understanding anything, which is likely to lead to mistakes, you explained. Oh? So these things are caused by blood relationships? We always thought it was a curse from the gods, bringing disaster to each tribe. If the chief really has a way to solve these problems, I will definitely cooperate with the chief's actions, the Chai clan leader immediately stated. Well, it's good that you have this intention. We'll talk about the rest when the clan leaders arrive in the evening. You put a period to the conversation between the two, and the Chai clan leader went back to preparing for the trade with the Ling tribe. The two sides were not far apart. If they traveled by bamboo raft, they could make a round trip every day, especially for vegetables like lotus roots, which needed to be delivered once a day to stay fresh. Time passed quickly, and the sun soon set in the west. The setting sun released thousands of rays of sunset glow, dyeing the entire sky red, indicating that people would have good weather tomorrow. People who had been working outside all day also returned home one after another, and some people slowly gathered in the square because the chief had come. They were all there to watch the chief. Many people were actually not familiar with you, and had only seen you from a distance a few times. They had basically never spoken a word to this chief. Now that your true self was here, how could they give up this good opportunity to watch the excitement and gossip? Soon Dashu also came over with a group of people. You recognized all the clan leader-level people. After all, you had eaten together before. However, you didn't recognize the two strangers with bruised faces. But there was no need to ask. They must be the instigators of the two incidents. Chief, Well, I'll sit down. I'll deal with these two guys in a moment, and then I'll talk to you about something else. The clan leaders greeted each other one by one, and then took their seats at the dining table in the pergola. Only the two guys were still standing timidly, in front of you with their heads down. And you also noticed that among the surrounding crowd, there were dozens of people with bruised faces and injuries on their bodies. They were probably clan members of the same surname. At this time, they were gathering in the crowd, seemingly trying to support their clan members in this way, and also wanted to see how you would punish them. You nodded to Shuda and Dashu beside you, signaling them to start, and Dashu took the lead in questioning. Speak up, what are your names, why did you fight, who started it? Explain everything clearly. Didn't you want the chief to make a decision? The chief is here now, he can definitely handle your affairs. Dashu questioned the two, while also glancing to the side from time to time. After a brief silence, the two quickly spoke up, each stating their reasons. In fact, the matter was not complicated. Jing Yu was 17 years old, had 2 women, and already had 5 children, but in fact, one of them was not his. The Jingji tribe was not a particularly wealthy tribe, so at most, they could only exchange 1 woman for each young man at the annual spring meeting. Jing Yu was no exception. He originally had only 1 woman, but he was very lucky to have 3 children with her. The other woman, to be precise, should be considered his sister-in-law. His older brother died early, having accidentally fallen to his death while climbing a tree, leaving behind only 1 woman and 1 child. But in primitive tribes, women who were still capable of giving birth would absolutely not be alone. Life was already difficult enough, and if they didn't strive to reproduce, extinction was not impossible. So, Jing Yu's sister-in-law came to him with her child and gave him another child. That's how he got his 2 women and 5 children. Of course, this was nothing rare. Similar situations existed in every tribe. However, it was unknown if this guy was on drugs. After moving to the new city area of the Han tribe, his 2 women became pregnant again. Now 4 months had passed, and the 2 women's bodies were becoming increasingly inconvenient to move. They could usually only take care of themselves, the 5 children at home, and do some simple chores. Seeing that the 2 women's mobility was getting worse and worse, and it was also time to distribute new houses, he, in order to make his life easier this winter, strenuously fought for the first house at the entrance of the alley, which was close to both the main road and the well. In the future, whether it was drawing water or carrying firewood, it would be much more convenient. The other one, Xiong Kaishan, his reason was similar to Jing Yu's. Although he didn't have 2 pregnant women, he had a brother who was disabled due to injury. When he was a child, he was bitten by a poisonous snake and was left with the sequelae of polio because he did not receive proper treatment. And his hearing was not very good either, possibly due to damage to the nervous system caused by the snake venom. Disabled people are a vulnerable group, and this is no exception in any era. Although women at this time did not require houses or cars when choosing a spouse, who wouldn't want someone physically strong? After all, a strong body not only brings a sense of security but also guarantees a sufficient food supply. Therefore, Xiong Kaishan's brother was naturally the type no one wanted. However, Xiong Kaishan himself valued loyalty and righteousness very much. Also, because he was often taken care of by his brother when he was young, even though he had his own woman and children after reaching adulthood, he still lived with his brother. Before joining the Han tribe, when the Xiong tribe still practiced communal ownership and food was distributed collectively, Xiong Kaishan often shared his own food with his brother. This year, after joining the Han tribe and learning about the division of households, he simply brought his brother to live with him. Anyway, each household had 5 rooms, so his brother's room was not a problem. His reason was the same, for the convenience of living. However, his family was not considered particularly difficult. He had a woman, 2 children, and a disabled brother. Although his brother couldn't do heavy work, he was completely capable of taking care of himself, and could even do small tasks like chopping firewood and starting fires. But this guy was jealous. jealous of Jing Yu having so many women and children. In addition, the Xiong tribe and the Jingji tribe were not on good terms to begin with, so he was purely looking for trouble when he contested that house. Having learned about the situation, you also made a judgment. Neither of them were bad people. By nature, one took over his sister-in-law and raised his deceased brother's children, and the other was loyal and righteous, unwilling to abandon his disabled brother. Would a person with an inherently bad heart do this? Of course not. But clearly, Xiong Kaishan's reasons were not very convincing. He himself said that he was competing for the house to take care of his brother, but his brother was clearly capable of taking care of himself and did not need special care. On the contrary, he could even help him a little. Thinking back to the attitudes of the two clan leaders, it was clearly caused by the old grudges between the two tribes. You don't want to bother with their past issues. Now that they have joined the Han tribe, it's your decision, so you quickly made a decision. Xiong Kaishan, you fought with your fellow clansmen over a house due to old clan grudges. When your fellow clansman was in need, not only did you not help, but you disregarded your kinship and obstructed him. I now sentence you to 10 lashes. Do you have anything to say in your defense? You announced the verdict with a stern face. Chief, Xiong Kaishan was about to say that he and Jing Yu were not from the same clan, but then he remembered that they had all joined the Han tribe. The words he was about to say were swallowed. Back and after holding it in for a long time, he asked, Chief, I admit my mistake, but what is that lashing? Here, it's this. 10 lashes on the back, any more questions? You nudged Shu Da beside you, and this guy very cooperatively took out a bamboo strip as thick as a little finger. Of course, in order not to kill anyone and to minimize external injuries, you used a thin, round bamboo branch instead of a split. Bamboo strip, otherwise one lash would definitely split the skin and flesh. Xiong Kaishan secretly grimaced, probably knowing how much it would hurt to be hit with this thing. However, the chief did not drive him out of the tribe, nor did he deduct his material allocation. Thinking about the newly built houses and the hard-won life now, he decided to accept the punishment. Oh, then I admit my mistake. I am willing. To be punished, chief, hit me. Xiong Kaishan gritted his teeth and said, Not so fast, there's more, you said, waving your hand. Ah, what else? Jing Yu, Xiong Kaishan, you two, due to personal conflict, incited a clan gathering to fight, destroying the unity within the clan. The nature is vile. I now punish you each with 10 lashes. Do you two have anything to say? You continued unhurriedly. Another 10? Then how many is that? Xiong Kaishan asked, confused. 10 plus 10 is of course 20. 20 for you, 10 for Jing Yu. Do you have a problem? You asked, frowning. No, no more. I accept the punishment. Xiong Kaishan had thought that this time the chief would only punish himself, but he didn't expect Jing Yu to be beaten as well. Although he was still beaten more, he instantly felt balanced. At least the chief was fairly just. Chief, I admit my mistake and am willing to be punished, but that house... Jing Yu also spoke up. Your family has a large population, young children, and your woman is also pregnant and has difficulty moving around. Your reason for wanting the house is correct, so that house will be allocated to you. But this cannot be a reason for you to fight with others and gather your clan to fight, so you are also wrong, and will be punished as well. Any more questions? No more questions. I am willing to admit my mistake and accept the punishment. Although, Jing Yu was also sentenced to 10 lashes. He felt that the chief was right. Wrong is wrong, regardless of the reason, and mistakes must be punished. Moreover, the chief also assigned the house near the alley entrance to him, so he was even more convinced. The two of them confessed their mistakes and prepared to be punished, but you weren't finished yet. This delayed punishment made the two of them feel miserable. It was like rubbing cotton balls before an injection. You know that you will be hit sooner or later, but your nerves have been tense for a long time, and the needle just won't come down. This feeling is worse than being directly beaten. Where are clan leader Jing and clan leader Xiong? You asked. Next, the two clan leaders were sitting at the table beside you, and when they suddenly heard you call them, their hearts skipped a beat. Was there something for them too? Chief, Chief. Although they were puzzled, the two quickly stood up. The two of you, as clan leaders, not only did not stop your clansmen from fighting privately, but instead incited clan infighting, affecting the unity of the tribe. As clan leaders, your behavior is even more egregious. Do you know the seriousness of this matter? Have you forgotten the reason why you joined the Han tribe in the first place? Only when everyone contributes their own strength to the tribe and the clansmen are tightly united can we protect our own people and resist any enemy attack and slaughter. But what did the two of you do? Huh? You provoked clan infighting and destroyed the unity of the clan. It's only been a few days of peaceful life, and the enemy has only been defeated for a few days. Now the team I sent to search for the cannibals' dwelling has not returned, and in order to find the enemy's tracks, they have already died on the road. Those are our relatives, you know. Are you two worthy of their sacrifices for the tribe? Huh? Your barrage of questioning and scolding immediately stunned the two clan leaders. They were just gathering to fight, and they didn't expect you to pull out such a big theory. And it seemed to be just as he said. The two of them really didn't realize the seriousness of this matter. At this time, after listening to your heartfelt condemnation, they suddenly felt ashamed. Indeed, life has been too stable these days. They didn't even have to worry about hunting, and forgot that the enemy had not been completely eliminated. Chief, we know we were wrong. Punish us too. The two clan leaders confessed in unison. As clan leaders, you did not take the lead in leading your clansmen to live a good life, but instead had the leisure to fight. You should be punished to make you remember and think about those relatives who died in the previous battle. How can you face them? Clan leaders committing mistakes will receive double the punishment, 20 lashes each. Do you have anything to say? You said, pounding the table. No, we are willing to be punished. The two clan leaders immediately lowered their heads and admitted their guilt. Good, then let the punishment begin right here, so that the other clansmen can take this as a warning. I won't punish those of you who participated in the fight this time. I'll just say one thing here. Think about the relatives who died in the last battle with the cannibals. If such a battle happens again, can you rely on yourselves? The people you fought today may be the ones who can save your life tomorrow. Think about it. You said to everyone with a wave of your hand. Shu Da immediately dispatched his soldiers to bring out 4 long benches, and Jing Yu, Xiong Kaishan, and the two clan leaders were all pressed onto them. Then warriors were dispatched to carry out the punishment. The thin bamboo strips whipped down on the bare backs, leaving a bright red wheal with each lash, and even tiny beads of blood oozed out. The 4 of them were drenched in sweat from the pain, but as soon as the sweat touched the wounds from the lashes, they grimaced in pain and couldn't help but cry out in agony. With each lash, the surrounding onlookers would tremble, as if they could feel the pain themselves. Some of the children were even so scared that they hid behind the adults, only revealing half their heads to peek. This was precisely your goal. This public trial in front of everyone was not only to show them your fairness, but also to intimidate them. No matter who it was, if they made a mistake, they would be punished, even the clan leaders who were previously considered to be the most powerful. As the saying goes, harsh punishments are needed in times of chaos, especially now that the empire is just starting out. Harsh punishments are especially important, and it is necessary to make the clansmen deeply understand the iron law that mistakes will be punished. The lashing was quick, not many lashes in total, but it still beat them half to death. Jing Yu, who was only sentenced to 10 lashes, was the first to get up. His back was covered in bloody marks, and his head was like he had just washed his hair, full of sweat from the pain. Even his muscles were trembling slightly from the nerve stimulation. Jing Yu wanted to salute, but you waved your hand and refused. You are excused from work tomorrow. Go back and wash thoroughly with cool boiled water. I will have someone give you some medicine later. Thank you, Chief. Jing Yu stiffly cupped his hands, then turned and went home. His 2 women were waiting for him in the crowd, fearing that the chief would drive them out of the Han tribe in a fit of anger. However, the outcome was not bad. Their man was only beaten, and the chief also gave them that house. Compared to that, a beating was nothing. The remaining Shongkai-shan and the 3 clan leaders also successively received 20 lashes. But they couldn't even get up anymore. The crisscrossing blood marks on their backs proved how much pain they had endured. You still followed the previous practice and directly told Shongkai-shan to go back and rest for a day, and told him that you would send medicine later. As for the 2 clan leaders who had just been beaten, you kept them behind, because you had other things to discuss with these clan leaders. Dashu also quickly brought the prepared ice basins and linen cloths, making simple ice packs for the 2 to relieve their pain. How are you 2 doing? Can you hold on? If you can, stay and have a meal with everyone. I have something to tell you. If the pain is unbearable, I'll have someone carry you home first. You can ask Dashu about the rest when you get back. You looked at the 2 clan leaders who had just been punished and asked with concern. In fact, you knew that these 2 could handle 20 lashes without a problem. The clan leaders were originally the leaders of each tribe, and those who could become leaders were all strong and robust. Moreover, the Jingji tribe and the Jiang tribe were originally hunting tribes that valued martial prowess. Chief, we are fine. This is all our fault. We didn't think so much and forgot about those terrible enemies. We have caused you trouble. The 2 said together again. Well, since you know you were wrong, then you must remember this lesson and not make the same mistake again. You were originally the leaders of your tribes, and you should play a positive, leading role in front of your clansmen, leading them to develop well. What I want to tell you today is about the future development of the tribe. Come, take a look at this first. As you spoke, you pointed to the 3 pieces of paper you had written earlier.